What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another week of the Writer's Room. I'm Alan Halas, and I'm joined, as always, by the music director for Breaking and Entering, as well as the host of the Mr. Nice Guy podcast and our River West cohort, Mr. Ben Slowey. How are you feeling today, sir?
Thanks for having me, sir. I'm doing pretty well. Very productive day. Last couple days, very busy. I've had to incorporate chores into my routines of getting my writing done, getting all my podcasts done, because everything is so condensed right now. And finding time to clean and do laundry and to eat. It's a crunch time for sure, but I'm getting everything done. How are you?
I am very much in a similar mode. Do you ever watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah, my roommate's more were into it than I was, but it would always be on.
Okay. Have you seen the episode where it's called Charlie Day, where the health inspector's coming, and so they gotta run it Charlie Day is literally running around from one spot to the bar to the other, and everything's really coordinated and everybody's crisscrossing. And he's making 3 things happen at once, and it all looks like it's one big take.
I haven't seen it, but it's applicable.
Yes, that has been how things have been lately. It's been a lot of being in 3 places at once somehow and making things happen. But productive nonetheless. I feel like I've been super productive. I went and voted today. Very important. Early voting started in Wisconsin. So there's that. A lot of great things happening in the world of Breaking and Entering. We're starting to do more. I feel like I'm starting to really brainstorm and get some more stuff happening. We got the radio show that randomly got tweeted out by Anchor. That's now going to be on Spotify, so that's pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
We're doing more here on Twitch. If you're watching us live, you're watching us on Twitch. I texted Ben, I think Saturday morning, and I was like, dude, what if we just turned Twitch into MTV and just made it a fully functioning channel and started creating a bunch of content and just pushing it out and seeing what they have out in the world. And now we're doing that. So
yeah, man, and I appreciate you incorporating the old Mr. Nice Guy episodes.
Yeah. So there's going to be
pretty cool.
Yes, Mr. Nice Guy Mondays is going to be a thing. And I decided we're going to start all the way from the back, the earliest episodes, which is kind of crazy because I cannot believe how much, Ben, you look completely different in a year and a half or 2 years or however long it's been.
Yeah.
You look more confident on camera now. How about that?
Oh, yeah. I would probably agree. I don't refuse to watch those early episodes, but I'm kind of afraid to. There was no beard back then.
Yep.
I was also probably a lot more spazzy. But, yeah, now it's kind of just doing episodes is sort of business as usual, I know what I'm doing. And I'm proud that, I said I was going to do something and I did it. So, yeah, it'll be nice to sort of revisit some of those early guests.
Yeah.
That we haven't heard from in a while. One of them of which is you.
Yes.
You're gonna have to air the one of you because you were one of the first 10.
Yeah, I think I was. It's me and then Genesis Renji are 8 and 9 or 7 and 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we aired the Mowgli one. Also, probably the best that these episodes have looked because they're actually full frame now. I'm able to stretch them out as opposed to very early. I noticed on YouTube it's pinched into this little small corner like this, and now we've got something different from that. We're full screen.
Before I could figure out the editing frame size and stuff on Premiere.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you can fix that now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It looks better than it ever has. Also, a lot of great things happening in the Milwaukee music scene as well. let's get into that right after we get into this first video. Really, really love this song, this video. I might have heard this album before it comes out. I've heard a version of it. I can't tell you when it's coming out, but I know, but it's soon. So get excited for that. That's as much of a tease as I can leave. This is Von Alexander. This is As the World Turns on the Writers' Room.
Yeah, started out with a dream and a plot, put the key in the lock, then I opened the door. I just wanna put my team on the top, my eye on the guap, Bentley off the lot. Might chop off your top if you try to test. Diamonds get made out of pressure. Take heart out your chest, take air out your neck. Violence at your death, lay you down to rest. Violence ain't a threat. It's a promise of consequences for opposition, no competition. My opulence is just confidence, and these niggas acting like my position ain't come from having no pot to piss in. My pop was missing, my mom was hitting crack rock addiction. My clock was ticking, I stopped resisting, had nowhere to go, I was broke. Nowadays money calling my phone. I remember when I was alone, had to learn all this shit on my own. These niggas wanna block my shot, but I learned how to move through the zone, and they wanna come and pop my top. Hoping that you might see the globe. Young Northside nigga, corner store, grape juice with the aluminum tops. I was 13 when I first seen what a nigga might do for a knot. Taking trips with my bro to the trap, in the kitchen trying to bag him a sack. I was chillin', I was into the raps, I was learning how to make this shit crack. I'm the future, what the fuck is the past? Karma Sutra, making love to the cash. Karma Sutra should be black in the flash. I just hope I don't go out in the blast. 4 5s like who looking for change. Both eyes open, holding your brain. Me and the sun are like one and the same. You on fire like a blunt in the rain.
And you know slow motion's better than no motion. I'd rather get this bread than be dead. As the world turns, I'm trying to earn, and when it all falls down, we gon' watch this bitch burn.
Look, I could tell this shit is new to you, huh? I'm a nigga far from usual, huh? What I make is irrefutable, moving diffusional till I get mutual funds. Nail cuticles completing the sums. Wordplay bring contusions to some. Niggas start acting delusional, stuck in confusion. This ain't no illusion of none. Flow like water, how I work with the drums. Same clothes, doing dirt like a bum. Me and my village put tires to roll, making sure we don't go back to a slum. Hating niggas tryna come out they hole. Fuck around and put them back in the slump. Never been the type of rapper to gas. Y'all niggas like to drink from the pump. I'm the nigga tryna make all the streets hot. Since Reese had the box with the T-top. Laying low, catching steam like a teapot. Tryna grow and stack the green like a peat pot. Moonwalking like Rick Ross in his Reeboks. Hit the booth and get the cooking that Reebok. Style vintage like I bought it from Depop. They been waiting on a nigga like Detox. This was all part of the plan. Sucking in heavy rotation like fans. I've been grinding off the wall like a van. While y'all been out here knotting off in them Zans. Got my walk right, got my talk right. Soft white, off white like a 10. 2 Virgils, I hope y'all understand. I'm just telling you how dope that I am. Been in the game since EA, back when niggas used to rap over beat tapes. Knife one day and Dilla, Lil Wayne and Killer, man, I had them niggas on replay. Run through my tracks, there's nothing but facts. I overpay tax like a rebate. Hope you listening close, I can show you the ropes. I'm the one you should know, there's no debate.
A young boy who grew up in the city with a fool, show no pity, pinch your pockets for a penny. As the world turns, I remain stern, and when it all falls down, we watch this motherfucker burn. Slow motion is better than no motion. I'd rather get this bread than be dead. I do what I can to keep the family fed. Step in my way and mess around and lose your legs. Stand for nothing, fall for something. This wasn't made for normal consumption. As the world turns, turn.
Alright, that was the brand new video from Von Alexander for As the World Turns. I meant to wear it and actually wore it last week when we were supposed to do a show, but I have the As the World Turns t-shirt too. So I'm fully standing for this new album. And if you're wondering why we didn't have a show last week, about 15 minutes before we were supposed to go live, I went to go plug in my camera, and the whole computer just completely exploded. Just crashed everything. Blue screen, restarted everything. If things look a little off this week, it's because I had to reconfigure literally everything for this show to get things set up. So it's been an eventful, couple of weeks here, and we'll see, if we can stick it out for this episode.
Yeah. roll so far. One video down.
There we go. Knock on wood. There we go.
Yeah, the optics are in place. You know, we can see each other.
Yeah.
So let's get into some Milwaukee music.
Yeah.
It's been a just endlessly exciting from every dimension. Last week, I had found just so much new stuff from Bandcamp that had been coming out from super DIY underground projects, and put those on the site. And I'm finding people on Facebook that are involved in these projects, and not even introducing myself. I'm just taking the
link,
copying the write up and just pasting it right in their inbox.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good way to start. I like that. Just hit them up and just let them know, hey, we're covering your music, because that's what we do every day. Tons of great new music coming out. More on the experimental side that you've been covering. I got to hear the new, I was going to say Crossroads Collective, and that's not right. Streetlight Society EP that came out. I got to hear that today with Emmett James. Super, super stoked on that. That was an unexpected little treat in my inbox for sure. The Mo City video that's out. Love that came out recently.
I got so happy when I watched his video, because I just know that he and his friends are just having just so much fun together.
Yeah.
The whole process is just magic to them. They're in their elements. They're not thinking about anything else. They're just thinking about creating dope content with all their best friends. Because Paper Stack is in that video, Peas is in that video, an additional myriad of other guys. I was happy with that one.
Yeah, I think the first time that I saw any of those dudes was Paper Stack's fried chicken video. And I want to say Alpine, it was either you or Alpine showed me the video, or showed me the link to the song. And you could tell that there was something about that little click that really, really works together. And now with Mo's Benchwarmers album, which I think, a lot of people have it on their radar as one of the best Milwaukee releases of the year, period, for this year. Not even just in the hip-hop game, just everything. Which I think is very valid and deserves to be up there for sure. But to see those guys grow and turn themselves into, what they've become lately, is super, super promising for 2021. And I think that that's kind of the mode that I'm in too, is that everything, I'm gearing towards next year, and things are looking good. And love what Mo City's doing for sure.
Oh yes. We got a new video from Wave Chappelle this week.
Yep.
Also was really well shot. We got a record from a jam band, Undercover Organism. And
Yeah.
That record is really fun. Those guys are well known for their live shows at Mad Planet, and I think it's cool to the fact that we do have some variation of a jam band here in Milwaukee, and it's a super planetary album. It's very spacey and very just aggressive, and I liked that one a whole lot as well. Just put the new Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends record on the site today.
Yep.
That is a very dark album, but a very powerful one. Something you should listen to if you're feeling in despair right now. So very well timed that they dropped that with everything this year.
Yeah, I think everything, that has been coming out in the last few months, maybe we're seeing kind of the effects of, quarantine hitting in March, and now the process of writing the record and then maybe recording it quickly in summer, and now it's finally ready to come out kind of thing. Maybe we're seeing that from a lot of artists. We might have a crazy, last quarter of the year, early spring, where, all these records that were really in development in the last year are now going to come to fruition. I'm sure there's a lot of people that we haven't heard from in a while that we're going to hear, some really great things from in the near future too.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that we got a new Blood record on the way from Nick Schubert of Gold. That's at the end of the month. We just got a new single from Twan Mac, a new single and video that came out. Who else? Miss Lotus Funk is coming out with a single end of the month. So things are moving forward, and I think that Milwaukee's music scene is they're not going to be inside anymore. They're not just hanging out doing nothing. Now we're getting into production mode.
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking to a lot of people in like local bands that, like, especially in like the indie scene, where they were like in the middle of piecing together a record, or they were in the middle of like the production when the pandemic hit, and the pandemic just setting everything back. So there's a lot of music that people are just kind of like keeping in the chamber right now for whatever reason, whether it's safety reasons or just just the heaviness that goes around this year, which is totally understandable too. Just giving people like that space to just feel what they're feeling.
Yeah.
Not really always focusing on music, but yeah, there's a lot that is still more to come. That I'm sure especially from a lot of indie bands, that we're going to get some really cool records and even some totally new projects in the works as well.
Yeah, totally. I was actually talking to John Blum, bassist from formerly Rocket Paloma and now Fresher Point, and he was saying that his big thing that he thinks is that there's going to be record release shows like crazy as soon as we're allowed to do live music. Like the gates are just going to be, full tilt, full steam ahead, because everybody will have records ready to go and get ready to be put out. Which I never even thought of that aspect of it, of like, well, if you're in a band, well, of course you want to play a record release show. So I think that could also be something that we could see. Just all sorts of, different production delays and things like that could have pushed things back, but yeah, it's nothing but good things to look forward to. Definitely trying to be on the optimistic side of things right now, for sure. So with that said, I think we should get into our second video for this week. Ben picked out the videos as always for this one. This is Techon with Blood Downs. I don't necessarily know a ton about Techon. Indie experimental artist, kind of electronic.
He's kind of pop. He's a lot of things.
Yeah.
I kind of discovered him through mutual friends who had posted about him, and it's a real catchy song that he's got with this one. So yeah,
all right.
Cool to see what he's doing.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get it stuck in my head then. This is Techon with Blood Downs on the Writers' Room.
Put something on those lips tonight. It's not me who runs this shit. Tonight is your night. I'm going all around, baby. I'm thinking about the moment I see those hips. You got me to run my shit. I'm going all around, baby. You make me wanna write nothing but straight hits. Show the world heartbreak still exists. It was in your list, oh, baby. The things that you said still fucking with me. Bye, 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 baby. The way you said I'd never make it still fucks with me. Bye, 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 baby. When you said that you love me still fucks with me. Bye, 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 baby. You said we'd always be cops, still fucks with me. I say a prayer for you the day you decide to tell the truth. One good thing came from you. It's the thought of losing something that is equal or more precious than you. My myself. And all I've built for me is truth. And all that's bad of me is you. And all that shade you throw don't make me go and tell you it's enough. It's just the way it goes. You grow apart and someone takes it rough for you. Just take it though, don't make me break your heart again, my love. And for the sake of that small bit we made, just take it with some salt. Oh, I, babe. Say the things that you said, still fucking with me. Bye, 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 babe. The way you said I never make it still fucks with me. Bye, 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 babe. When you said that you love me, still fucks with me. Bye, 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 babe. You said we'd always be cops, still fucks with me. You got your blood down shoes. You got your boy at home. You know we'll wait on you. You know he's patient too. It's amazing the way you waste it too. The way you waste it too. You got your blood down shoes. You got your boy at home. You know we'll wait on you. You know he's patient too. And it's amazing the way you waste it too. Oh, I, babe. Say the things that you said, still fucking with me. Bye, 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 babe. The way you said I never make it, still fucks with me. Bye, 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 babe. The way you said that you love me, still fucks with me. Bye, 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 babe. You said we always be cuffed, still fucks with me.
All right, that was Techon with Blood Downs. And you were right, super, super catchy. That's going to be stuck in my head. I'm probably going to play that one a little bit more. And it's probably going to end up on one of the new things we're doing on Twitch that I decided on this weekend, which is the Saturday Morning Shuffle, which, you know, if you're a fan of old school MTV where you just wake up early in the morning before school and put on a block of music videos, that's what we're going to be providing. Saturday morning, get your weekend started right. We're going to have I downloaded a library of videos this week, and you can put them literally just into a big playlist and put them on shuffle. So if you don't catch Breaking and Entering's happy hour on Friday night, which is a block of videos, Saturday morning you can kickstart your weekend with the Saturday Morning Shuffle too. So eventually we're just going to get to the point where I go to sleep at night and just put a ton of music videos on, and then at 7 in the morning I'll wake up and shut it off. I don't know, maybe we'll see, but we're gonna be full scale ahead. Music television, what a concept,
dude! So innovative. Yeah, I'm looking forward to expanding the visual component to our work. I mean, we've been posting a lot of videos on the site lately. Just a lot of videos in general this past year.
Yeah.
Which I feel that's not out of the ordinary or anything, but it's just it's great to see artists rather than just hear them, especially right now.
Yep.
With the pandemic, because it's you feel like you still are making a connection with them by being able to see them in their element, performing their music, which, as they say, hits different this year.
Yes, 100%. Definitely hits different. It's something that, yeah, like you said, it is cool to see that they're, honestly, it kind of feels like it's a little bit of a check-in to be like, oh, they're doing well. They're putting out videos. They're on their own. And we've got a ton of videos that we have ready to play that we can put out. What I don't think people know is that we have a ton of back content too, as far as video. Not only Mr. Nice Guy, which is now 450 plus episodes deep, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. And then I've been recording Breaking and Entering shows since we started doing them at the Tonic Tavern in Bayview. So we've got a few years of those shows backed up. We got footage from beat battles. We went to South by Southwest and shot some videos there in 2014, 2015. So this back catalog of content is there. We've got probably, honestly, a good year's worth of content just hanging out there. So, plenty of stuff to be watching for. So if you don't subscribe to Breaking and Entering on Twitch, if you're watching this later on Facebook or YouTube, please, twitch.tv/Breaking and Entering 1. And then, obviously plenty of new episodes of Mr. Nice Guy, too, as well. Ben is putting out episodes. Saw your episode with Shane Hostetler this week. Or within the last week. I think it was actually last week that it came out. But very excited to see that. And like you said, talking about bands working on records, he's worked on some of the best in Milwaukee.
Yes, he has. Yeah, he was very, very kind and genuine dude. And he's one of those people that, is wow, you care enough to hear what I have to say.
Right.
Yeah, dude, you've, worked with, some of my favorite bands in town.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, a lot of them. Shane has been he has pioneered the engineering and production of Milwaukee music for so long now, and it was so great to just sit and chat with him.
Yeah, he's been a fixture. I mean, not just, he played in Call Me Lightning, but then he's been a fixture beyond that too with Howell Street Recordings. And I will never forget, I was in high school and I wanted to work in a recording studio, or I might have been in my freshman year of college. And I was like, cool, I'm going to go work at Howell Street. And I think I found his number online, and I called him from I was hanging out in Bayview, and called him, and he picked up, and I was like, hey dude, if you ever need somebody to work, my name's Alan, I'm real interested in the music scene, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, and I'm in Bayview right now, if you want me to, if you want, I can come see the studio, come take a tour. I didn't know how it worked. I was probably freshly 18, 19 at this point, and I just thought you just go to studios and tour them, and he's like, kind of a one-man operation right now, dude, but thanks. And then he hung up, and that was kind of it. But I like to say that I almost worked at Howell Street Recordings. I never had a chance. I was just trying really hard to work there as a kid. So
yeah, being an eager kid is, we all kind of felt that type of way about something,
Yeah.
I pigeonholed wanting to work at 88.9 for a long time. Still wouldn't say no if the right opportunity came around, but yeah, that's why we,
That's why we got into this. That's why we do what we do
that's
here.
That's why we pour all the things we want to do into something we are doing.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely. And the cool thing is we get to kind of be our own bosses here anyway, and have fun with it, and just make good shit for the sake of making good shit. With that in mind, this was normally the segment of the show where we would talk about what we were listening to that's not Milwaukee music. But if you've been watching in recent weeks, you've noticed that we've started a new trend where we go and we pick something out of our vinyl collections. As you can see, I have an extensive one here behind me. Ben has run into the other room and grabbed a record at random, and I have no idea what record I'm going to pick either. And that's the record that we all have to listen to within the next week, or the two of those. So, Ben, would you like to go first, or should I just pick one at random behind me and we'll see what we get? I think I had 4 in here last time.
Go first.
Okay. All right, let's go directly behind me. That's the wrong shoulder. There we go. Let's see what I can grab. Well, it's whatever one I've landed on here. This White Edge album. Okay. So I have some explaining to do. I inherited a lot of records from my family, and that's why the majority of these records are here. And I did not know that I had this one in my collection, I'm pretty sure. This is Bette Midler's Divine Madness, which apparently is an album that she put out, 1980. There's this sweet picture of Bette Midler in a mermaid costume in the back. Did not know this one was in my collection, but now you all have to listen to it. There's a picture of Bette Midler on Mount Rushmore on the cover. What more could you ask for? Very surprised. I don't know what relative I got this one from, but looks like it's a banger. Looks like it's a banger, Ben. We got a lot of great Bette Midler content happening here. So Bette Midler's Divine Madness is apparently the record that everybody's got to listen to this week. Ben, what do you have for us?
Well, with Bette Midler, man, props and jams all day. This week, not.
I'm gonna guess it's not Bette Midler.
It's not quite Bette Midler, no.
How
But
weird would it
fun
be?
book.
How weird would it be if we both grabbed a Bette Midler record?
That'd be an actual horror movie because I don't know anything about Bette Midler whatsoever.
I know that my wife's mom was real into Bette Midler, and that's about it. That's literally about it.
Yeah, what I got is very far off from that.
Okay.
I've got Of Montreal,
Okay.
Landing Winds. So this record is super fun. For those that don't know who Of Montreal is, they're like a really weird psychedelic indie band from like they started in like the late 90s, and their style has encompassed a lot of different stuff like funk and rock and pop and some disco, even some country in some parts. But this record came out in the mid 2000s. It has one of their most popular songs, which is "Wraith Pin to the Mist" and Other Games, which you might have heard in your local indie coffee shop.
Okay.
Possibly, but it's got some cool artwork. Some.
Now, I have to say, I don't see any of the members of Montreal imposed into Mount Rushmore on the album artwork, so I'm going to have to say that could be a problem. I also don't see any of them dressed as mermaids, as you would see with Miss Midler here.
Well, you know what, Alan? I don't see Bette Midler on top of a volcano. So, and I also don't see her, in a cool, surreal drawing of some trees and clouds.
You got a point.
So,
you got a point. I will give you that. So those are the two records to listen to this week, Of Montreal and Bette Midler. Couldn't be farther apart, I don't think. Or you can just listen to whatever. But I like this segment because it's getting wacky already.
Yeah, and you and I are starting to make this personal.
Yes, for sure. With that said, let's get into our last video for this week. Ben, you know a little something about this band. Mr. Will Pfrang and the Goodland Gang, who just put out a brand new single called On the Nose. And
I know too much about that band.
I was going to say, you actually roomed with Jack from Will Pfrang.
Yes, but I also roomed with the guy that directed this video, Rock Dahl.
Okay.
And I'm really proud of them for putting this video together. Rock is a really funny guy, and like me and him used to do like a bunch of dumb, funny skits to promote our J3 Studios events, and to kind of just see him, have fun with this one, but also like make it really fun, and it's also really well shot by Izzy. So it's got a fun outtake at the end too.
There we go. So watch for that. It's Will Pfrang and the Goodland Gang on the Writers' Room.
doors are trying to close, and girls got a little something under their nose. And man, it really goes to show, what you think you got is all you really know. Take your cards, but don't you fold. It was midnight. The boys, they got that look, man. They're gonna fight. And last call for another round. 'Cause no matter what I do, the cops are coming to my house. Off the night in Parktown, she looked him square in the eye and said, "Who's this clown?" A small town act of attrition, to be ending up in this lost and found. Lock me up to knock me down.
That was it. Cut. Cool. All right. Now I'm thinking, like, should we get the crowd around, like, Garrett and Jack a little bit? Fuck you.
Alright, that was the brand new video from Will Pfrang and the Good Land Gang for On the Nose. I like the outtake. I like that there's a clown involved. And the end of that video where things kind of pick up super reminds me of when I was in college for like video production. We had to do short films a lot, and we always conveniently wrote these films with like a party scene in them, which just gave us an excuse to throw a party, and then we would film like a quick scene and then actually have a party, which, you know, sounds weird, but it was an excuse for all of us to get together. And I definitely get that from the end of that video, and a very fun one, for sure.
I'm excited for their EP coming out at the end of the month. It's going to have a lot of songs that they've played for a long time now, basically since they started doing shows in the scene, but along with some new ones too. On the Nose being one of the newer ones, but
Nice.
yeah, it's great to see how they're still at it, and I'm also glad that Brock is getting creative. I think he's good at doing it.
Oh yeah, no, it looked very cool, and definitely interested to see what they keep bringing. You've gotten to see that band grow and mature, especially within the last couple years. So excited for that as well. And that'll just about do it for this week's episode of The Writers Room. This kind of went by fast. We had a lot of fun. We found some Bette Midler records that I didn't know I had. I don't want to get too heavy, but this is normally the time where we get into some wisdom from both Ben and myself. And if you don't mind, Ben, I'll go first because I had one prepared for last week, and I didn't, we didn't get the chance to do it. So this is gonna be the terrible watered down version of it. But basically, over the last couple weeks, I've kind of had the thought of like, I'm very glad that Breaking and Entering is hitting its stride right now, and I think that was like that part of that is because Ben is now the music director, and I'm focusing on a little bit more of like the feature type stuff. But I really think that like the smartest thing that I could have did was say, okay, this is what I'm not good at, which is like consistently, or find the thing that I wasn't having the most fun at, which is, just trying to push out content for the sake of pushing it out. And I gotta say, I really thank Ben for his contribution to be able to do this sort of thing and push out and find all the new music that he's finding. And I really like that. I think that that's the way that any creative, any organization should work. Is you should find the thing that you feel most comfortable doing or the thing you enjoy doing. And so for me to kind of take a little bit of a step back, like maybe a half step back, has really kind of pushed me into like getting things done and kind of re-energized me in a year that's super hard to find energy to do stuff. So that's kind of what the watered down version of my wisdom was going to be for last week. Just that idea of finding a way to go forward by taking a little bit of a step back.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And I appreciate you also just giving me a platform to stay busy. I can speak on kind of the topic you brought up of just like finding what you connect with, and making it become your thing. It's crazy. Like I think about almost every single day. I think about like where I was after college and how I had no idea like how I was going to get my career started. Sort of the way that I was getting pushed, like the direction I was getting like kind of nudged into, just by the pressures of like what makes sense. Keep applying to jobs, apply to jobs. Like one of them will call you back, and and I just didn't. I had very little motivation to do that because I'm the kind of person where like if something just it kind of reflected in my schoolwork too. It's like if there was a subject or something that I just really did not connect with or just did not have interest in, I would just, I just wouldn't do it, or I just wouldn't put
the effort in. Yeah, no, I was the same way for sure.
Yeah, like I wouldn't. It just didn't appeal to me. I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew I wanted to write about music and interview artists and build a sense of community through that. And I had mentioned earlier that I wanted to work at 88.9, and I remember like I sat down. I remember like I reached out to Justin Barney and I like asked him to meet with me because I wanted to hear. I wanted to kind of hear his story about like how he got into the position that he was in, being music director of the station. And I was like, man, I would kill to do something like that. Like pick music and get to play it on the airwaves and like have your station be something that's like recognized by the community because you give back to the community. Like I want that.
Right.
But I sat down with him in the 88.9 lobby and talked to him about like, hey, I just graduated school and I don't really know what to do with myself right now. Like what advice would you give me? And he was like, he was like, yeah, I mean, I was in a similar boat too when I finished school. Like, I, didn't know what I was doing after, like, I got done and was trying to find a job and had trouble. And then I kind of he he put up with a lot of shit, before he, even just within because he was an intern at the station, and he kind of had to he made his own work,
Right.
he kind of gave himself things to do that would eventually snowball into having a paid position there, and eventually worked his way up to the ins and outs of the station, and you know your music, and the position eventually opened up, and that's how he got his job. Basically, it was a tale of just perseverance and just kind of putting up with a lot of uncertainty, but just trusting that it's gonna be worth it in the end. And,
Yeah.
And I don't get to talk to Justin a whole lot these days. I mean, we see each other in passing. Whatever, he was on the show last year,
Right.
and that was I'll never forget that conversation, because I kind of I appreciated that he was willing to sit down and give me that sort of insight, because he very well could have just been busy with his day, but he chose to talk to me. And two, I think just that has been a philosophy I've carried since I started breaking and entering, is that I'm gonna be pretty nervous and scared and worried about putting myself out there, but even after doing that for so long and so much, it's paid off immensely.
Yeah.
And it continues to every day.
Yeah,
So,
dude.
yeah, I mean, I'd say that my advice is kind of echoes the takeaway from that story, but also piggybacking off of yours, is that even though you and I don't make a ton of money off of this yet,
Right.
the keyword is yet, and
Yes.
we have built it into something that was so unprecedented. I thought I would just be doing the same exact shit I had done that for the first year. I thought it was just going to be another year of that, but we got creative, and now I think we're the best music publication in the city, because we cover so much stuff in an authentic and personal way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just say, if you really believe in what you can do with something, and you find somebody, in my case, you, Alan, that also has a vision of how we can, help others in the way of a platform, then it will take time, but it's so worth it. The hardest part is just getting started.
Yeah, that's 1000% it. I want to do the when you have a sharing session where you snap along kind of thing. Yeah, no, dude, that you nailed it. I mean, it's not for everybody, but it is for the people that really do want to be self-starters, the people that are creators. There's a lot of doing something and throwing it at the wall and getting no return on it whatsoever. And then there's times where, you just hit that one moment and things kind of, seem right. I mentioned today, or actually recently on Facebook, Ryan Holman from Here was like, is anybody else having trouble getting going creatively this year? And I mentioned that I'm kind of I'm driven on little victories. So when Anchor goes and tweets out our radio show and puts it out there, or when, somebody subscribes to our Twitch or does whatever, or we get the right share in the right place, those little things push me to keep going. And